Hi guys, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and this evening I had a video request, and that request was from Aliisa Kalma on YouTube, one of my newer subscribers who I'm really excited about. Thank you for making comments, and I appreciate all the video requests, because let me just tell you this, I'm never going to run out of ideas for videos because of my books of herbs. Like, it would take me 10 years to run out of things for videos if I was just going on that. But I'm not. I have much more to go on. And there's just so much to do. So today we're doing this video on vanilla. And let me just show you what forms of vanilla I have. Right now I don't have a vanilla bean, because if you guys work with vanilla and you're a cook of some sort, you know that vanilla is so expensive. Sometimes $10 for one organic bean. And I would only use organic if you're cooking. This is just my opinion, because pesticides are so rampant on those from what I understand. So this is a form of vanilla I have here. It's just a pure vanilla extract that I got from Whole Foods. It's got a great taste. It's a good brand. And there's no ingredients besides it and just pure vanilla. Now this is an organic vanilla bean paste. And this is excellent. A really good product. I'm not able to focus anymore, you guys, because I broke my camera on a stone. It fell on my big chunk of black. It's either called tourmaline or obsidian, but my phone fell from the tripod and just split. So that's why you see like a smoky side on one side. I'm getting a new camera, you guys. It's going to take some time. So vanilla. You want to see how to light your candle from your altar candle? Get a match that you've already used and go quick. Go quick. There you go. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about vanilla. And the piece of taxidermy I have on the table right now is this this deer jaw that I'm trying to bond with that I got at the charity shop on my last haul. So we'll just keep that there. Let's talk about vanilla. So in this Sky Alexander Modern Witchcraft, which I'm not a huge fan of, and I'll tell you why. Every time I go to look something up, well, and remember, this is a spell book. This isn't a book on herbalism or anything. But every time I go to look something up, there's just one tiny snippet. Okay. At least there's something, though, right? So, all it says is, vanilla encourages a more joyful and lighthearted approach to love. Well, that's good information. So, I'm not going to completely negate that book. But if you don't know how to write your own spells, this is a good way to figure out kind of like, look at other people's spells and then try and make it your own. And if you can't figure out how to do that, and maybe I'll do a video just on like taking one spell and then making it your own. And I'll give 3 examples or something. But honestly, you guys, just really try and take every spell that you get from someone else and change it up in at least one way. See, I've taken a lot of spells from maybe like, I'll watch 5 YouTube videos and then I'll take all that information and then write my own spell from it. You know, take 5 books or 3 books or 1 book. Supermarket Sabbats. You know, I like this one because the snippets it has polarity. So, let's see, for vanilla, it says the element is water, the planet is Venus, the polarity is yin, and the magical uses are love, energy, and lust. Now, this does have a bit of information on all the properties, but I get all of that from Scott Cunningham's books, except for the bit, on polarity. That's the only place I can find that is Supermarket Sabbats. So I definitely keep that book around and I show it often because polarity is important. knowing which side of the balance it's on. And another way to say that, I believe, is like male-female, because female is either yin or yang, and male is either yin or yang. So, if I knew more about those, I'd probably have that memorized, and I probably should, so I will get that memorized for the future videos. Okay, so vanilla. Gender is hot. Planet is Jupiter. Element is fire. Part used the bean. I'm sorry, we're reading from Scott Cunningham's Magical Herbalism. Part used the bean. Basic power, love. Specific uses. Though this herb is most often used in oil form, the whole bean is sometimes added to love charms or carried on the body to make one attractive and ready for an evening of loving. A vitalizing herb used by some for the get up and go. That's all it says. Now, talking about that, if you were going to carry it as, like, you know, a talisman or in an amulet or something, that would be really special because the vanilla bean's really expensive. It's really desired. It's hard to find. So if you were to put that in some sort of thing that you carried on you, that to me would be really special and really attracting. I would think that would be really attracting. Okay, so now we're on to Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and on vanilla, he has a bit to say in this and a lot to say in the kitchen, so, which makes sense because it's definitely more of a food, right? Okay, vanilla. Folk names. Banalji and Talixathakal. You guys, I'm not pronouncing these right, but I'm trying. Gender, do you want to guess? I was wrong when I guessed. It's feminine. Planet Venus. Element water. Powers, love, lust, and mental powers. Now, these are the powers when you're using it in magic. When we go over the powers in this book, which is next, it's when you ingest it. This is just in magic. This is when you eat it. Okay? Okay, magical uses. Vanilla, a type of fermented orchid. What? Did you guys know that? Did you know that vanilla is a fermented orchid? Scotty, awesome. Is used in love sachets. The scent and taste are considered to be lust-inducing. I completely agree with that. Women's colognes have had vanilla in them since the beginning of time, and I think that's because of witchcraft. You know what I mean? Like, it's been used as a love-attracting scent way before we started making perfumes, in my opinion. Before we were doing the essential oils and the blends and the real perfumes, we were doing talismans and amulets and potpourris and just putting stuff together in a bowl to smell good, right? And that's been going on since, my guess would be, the beginning of time. Okay. So, it's used in love sachets. The scent and taste are considered to be lust-inducing. A vanilla bean placed in a bowl of sugar will infuse it with loving vibrations, and that's called vanilla sugar. The sugar can then be used to sweeten love infusions. A vanilla bean carried will restore lost energy and improve the mind. Okay, that's it. I'm spending the $10. I'm getting a vanilla bean, and I'm carrying it. Because I need to restore lost energy and improve the mind. Like, it's worth the $10. You guys, what do we spend $10 on? Here and there, all kinds of things. But when we look at one tiny herb and it's $10, I look at it and I go, that's too much. I can't spend that much. Because I want 3 of them, you know, and then that would be $30. Just remember, get your ingredients one at a time. Don't be selfish when you're collecting from nature, if that's something that grows locally around you. just take what you need, you know. And I need to remember that more too. When I'm herb shopping, obviously my herb cabinet is just full, full, full. But I'm working every day. And I try not to shop but maybe once every 6 months for herbs, because I'm foraging, I'm growing them in my garden, etc. Sorry, my sugar glider. My Australian sugar glider is in the other room barking. She barks when she's hungry. So as soon as this video is done, I'm gonna if I have a video on her. Her name is Mish, my Australian sugar glider. And she'll stop barking if I go out there. So it's like, if I took you out there to hear her bark, it would be, yeah. So anyway. Alright, so I'm going to put a vanilla bean and start carrying one to restore lost energy and improve the mind. Thank you for requesting this video, Aliisa, right? Like, yeah, thank you for requesting this video, Aliisa, because, when you guys do these things, and ask for things, I feel like it falls at the right place in my life. You wanted to hear about vanilla, and I needed a vanilla bean in my pocket. Do you see how that makes sense? And like, we all end up helping each other in this beautiful flow of sequence. That's how the universe works. That's how energy works if you embrace it. And we're embracing it here on this family. Thank you for helping me grow it, you guys. Share this on every channel you feel comfortable with. Please try and help me grow this channel so that we can have as many opinions from across the globe as we can, because that's my goal, right? I want to grow a loving family with you guys, and I already have, and I'm so thankful for that. So now we are on to Scott Cunningham's Wicca in the Kitchen, Encyclopedia of, and he's got a lot to say about vanilla, like 2 pages worth. So, planet Venus, element water, energies, love, and sexuality. See how the energies might be different? Lore. Check out my Saturday Night Lore. Alright. Vanilla is one of Mexico's gifts to the world. The cured fruit of an orchid, vanilla was created long ago by a divine act. In the distant past, when goddess and gods still walked the earth, Zanat, the young daughter of the fertility goddess, furiously loved a Teutonic youth. Unable to marry him due to her divine nature, she transformed herself into a plant that would provide pleasure and happiness. Oh my god. Axnat became the vanilla orchid, so that she could forever belong to her human love and his people. That is such a sweet story. I'm serious, like, I've been in love so deeply in my life a couple of times that I feel like I would have chosen something like this just to be with the person. Like, I don't want to sound crazy, but like, if you had an option to give up your human life and still live just to be with the person, that's such like a cool thing, but like a sad thing at the same time. Like, the story's sad to me, but it's not, because she got to like live her life in this whole like new form. I don't know. I envy stories like this, but I also feel sad for it because I know the love and compassion that if your lover gets taken away from you, you would feel, right? Whew. This beautiful legend speaks of the respect that early Mexicans gave to this orchid and to its fermented fruit, which we know as the vanilla bean. The Teutonic Indians may yet celebrate the vanilla festival in late spring with dances and feasts. Among them, the flower of the vanilla orchid is still known as Axnat. Native to Central America, the plant is now grown in Mexico and other parts of the world. The vanilla is the only orchid that is regularly used for food purposes. The Aztecs knew that, as Tlaxcalil used it to flavor their chocolate, which they imbibed in the form of a spicy unsweetened liquid. Vanillin, an artificial form of vanilla, is used for flavor chocolate by American confectioners. Vanillin. Remember the show Friends, when Monica was the chef and she had to, like, she needed a job because she got fired from a regular chef job, and she had to take a new one, and this guy was making this food called mocklet. And it was like, chocolate dominates all the good holidays, Easter, Christmas, Valentine's Day. Well, mocklet's going to be the Thanksgiving holiday. And she was trying to think of things like recipes for Thanksgiving, like mocklet mousse and mocklet cream pie and okay, I'm sorry to get on like a little rant, but vanillin, an artificial form of vanilla, it sounds like mocklet. And if you guys don't know the 90s show Friends, it's hilarious. Poor Ross. I'm always saying that. Me and my daughter are always saying, poor Ross, about anything in life, or when we watch the show. Okay, back to vanilla. Vanilla was introduced in Europe, into Europe via Spain in the late 1500s. Soon the French were using it to flavor chocolate and to scent tobacco. Yum. Eventually it won out over rose as the flavoring material and became widely popular. So at one point, vanilla was more wanted than rose, which is really amazing because throughout time I think rose is probably one of the most favored smells in the world. And it's expensive. Magical uses. Because vanilla is linked in Totemic mythology with love, and due to its pleasant smell and taste, it follows that it is one of the prime love flavorings. Vanilla ice cream, vanilla pudding, and all foods that are flavored with vanilla are fine for use in love-expanding diets. For a simple vanilla-charged sweetener, place a whole vanilla bean in a sugar jar or a canister. Let it sit until the sugar has absorbed the scent of the vanilla and add it to foods. Okay, so you're making a $10 jar of sugar, but again, this vanilla sugar will blow your mind. And then you can take that bean out of the sugar once it's done. You can keep using it for vanilla sugar and use it for only that one thing. Or you could take it out and strip the pods and use it for baking, use it for magics, you guys. So you could use it twice, in my opinion. Although the story of axe nut isn't widely known, it's curious that American women once dabbed vanilla extract behind their ears as a magical love perfume to attract men. Sexual activity in a loving relationship may also be enhanced by the addition of vanilla-flavored foods to the diet. As much as I love Mexico, I must give one warning. Do not use the vanilla extract commonly sold there at extremely low prices. This is made from tonka beans, not vanilla, and is toxic. Do not take internally. And in Mexico, there are different food regulations than here in the United States, so they may not have to print on the jar that it's toxic or the full ingredients. You know, we have regulations here that are of standard, but every country has different standards. So remember that if you're here in the U.S. or if you're somewhere outside and didn't know that, okay? Sorry, my hair's going nuts at the moment. Additionally, only real vanilla extract or the beans themselves should be used in magical cooking. And this says right on it, organic pure vanilla extract. Okay, so that's what it is, you know. This is pure vanilla bean paste, so this is the paste from inside. So this is probably a bit of some kind of like oil with the vanilla bean seeds. Okay, it says what's in here. Helena vanilla extract. So there's some of this stuff in here, 12% of that. Then there's a 12% alcohol. There's vanilla seeds, so from the inside of the pot is scraped in here. And then there's a bit of sugar, 5%, and natural gum cargillon. So there's like 5 ingredients in this paste. So it's extract like this, the oil, seeds, sugar, gum, and alcohol. And the alcohol is to keep it, because you want this to last a long time. This was quite expensive. This was like $35. And there's maybe an ounce and a half. And I'm just saying by that is you really want to get things that have some kind of alcohol in them so that it keeps for a really long time, because, you know, here's $50 worth of vanilla right here. Okay. Additionally, use only real vanilla extract or the beans themselves. You should be used in magical cooking. Artificial vanilla extract, which may cost all of $1 or $2 or less, is magically inert and will have no effect. And I'll do up a video all about essential oils and which ones are good and how you know if they're real, because a lot, like for instance, if oil doesn't come from something, there's no essential oil of it. But you can find vanilla essential oil out there. You can find, what's another essential oil that's out there that doesn't actually have an oil? Think, Jennifer. There's a few of them, but we learned in massage school, it's like if that thing doesn't make an oil, then it can't be an essential oil. So there's a few things out there that just can't be, and we'll have to talk about those. And I'll talk about some good trustworthy brands of essential oils. But I would say that this Singing Dog vanilla, you know, fair trade, non-GMO, gluten-free, which is hard because they're not all gluten-free, sugar-free, organic, Singing Dog's vanilla, check that out. And then this Hilala, it's a Hawaiian vanilla, that's good too. So glad we talked about vanilla. How do you guys use it? Have you used it in your magics before? I'd love to know. What I've used it in my magics for, only one thing so far. I've just started getting into vanilla because it wasn't on my magical cabinet. I hadn't used it ever until 2.5 weeks ago when I did my first Fae offering after the Holly Witch had it as an ingredient in hers. And when I added it to, and I made like this Fae offering with like sugar, rosebud, cinnamon, vanilla, a few other herbs. Yarrow, I think, was in there. It smelled so good. The sugar, the vanilla, the cinnamon, it smelled like a baked treat. And I did lick my fingers because I read the ingredients. I was like, yeah, nothing's toxic. Oh my god! And it just like smelled and tastes so, so good. Get vanilla in your life. I know that people say the phrase, they're so vanilla, which apparently means boring. And that's so dumb because vanilla is so not boring. And especially magically, it's not boring. So, you guys, thank you for coming back and joining me, the Taxidermy Witch Jen, on a spur-of-the-moment video at 2:22 a.m. I've taken a little nap and I woke up at like 11. I usually stay up until 3:45. I want to be up for each 3:33s of each day. 3:33 p.m. and a.m. is a special time for me, especially a.m. I like to be awake and protecting my house during that time. And I like to be awake and see what might be spiritually in my house at that time. Because I feel like a lot goes on. At 3:33 p.m., it's a little bit harder to see, but it's still the same properties in my opinion, or the same, like, magical time. What times are magical to you guys? When I see 11:11 on the clock, and it's at a random, I feel like that's my guides talking to me. But my guides talk to me in so many ways. those white peacocks that were on my back porch the other day, I think that okay, I feel like those white peacocks were the fae. Remember I made that little fae gardening that door, and I gave him that mead as the permanent offering in the garden, and the door opens with all those special, like, precious stones and herbs and things from my life and a dread of my hair and all that stuff. The next day I was filming a video for you guys. I can't remember what video it was. It was a Scott Cunningham herbal video, and I was out in my garden, and I looked over, and there was 4 white peacocks, and I'm in Seattle. They're native to Florida. Right by that little fae offering coming out of my garden, and that was the first time I ever saw them. It was I feel like it's the fae, like, gracing my life. And I could be crazy, but I'm not worked with the fae yet very much, so I mean, like, it's just my intuition and what I feel. And I told my husband, and he's all, which is fine. Because I'm just now getting into fairies, and, like, I'm an herbal witch, you know. So until now, everything's been pretty, like, yeah, that makes sense, but when I talk about fairies, I think he's kind of like, but I think that they are gracing my life in all kinds of ways. So, back to the vanilla, I first used it for my first fairy offering, and I feel that the gifts that have come from it are just so gorgeous. So I have 2 videos that have the white peacocks. I also have recordings on my phone. Should I put more of those white peacock recordings out for you guys? Because I keep seeing them. They were eating cat food from our dish today, and I got a video of that. It's like a minute long. It's not long. I just wanted to show you that they're just like... There's 100 places they could go. Why are they staying here? It's just so sweet. Alright, you guys. Vanilla. Vanilla! Thanks, Aliisa. Have a really beautiful day, you guys. Come back and join me, Jen, the Taxidermy Witch, as we talk about herbalism from Scott Cunningham and many, many, many other things. Have a beautiful night, y'all.